Hi, this is Matt with Premier Electronic Solutions, and today we're going to answer the question, can I use in-ceiling speakers for my surround sound system? But before we get to that, let's cover why we might want to do this, and generally that'll fall into one of two scenarios. The first has to do with the space that you have available. Maybe you have an open floor plan, and because you have an open floor plan, there's no place for you to put speakers out that wouldn't look clunky and out of place. Or you just can't position them right. And when it comes to positioning in a surround sound system, that's really key to what the performance is. On a ceiling, we can generally get the speakers into a position where we can create the proper sound field. So even if you have an open area, we can give you the feeling that you're in the middle of the sound field. Second reason is cosmetic. Maybe there's space where we could put speakers either on the wall or on the floor, but it's your living room, it's your family room. You don't want those things out and visible, or maybe you just don't like the look of traditional speakers. In-ceiling speakers are low profile. They mount flush, they're white. If your ceiling isn't white, they're typically paintable, so you can blend them right in with everything else. Now that we've covered the why of in-ceiling speakers, let's go back to the question of, can we use in-ceiling speakers for our surround sound system? And the answer is yes, with some caveats. The first caveat is we've got to be careful that we use the right type of speakers. This really comes into play for the front three. So your front left, your center, and your front right. A traditional in-ceiling speaker fires directly down at the floor. For the front channels in a surround sound system, that's not the impact that we want. We want something that's directional and coming at us. So manufacturers actually make specific speakers for the front channels in a surround sound system. And even though the grill is flush on the ceiling, and behind that, the drivers are mounted on an angle, so the sound still comes to you like it's coming from the front. You'll find many manufacturers make these speakers. Paradigm, Speakercraft, Kef, Klipsch, Episode. There's many out there that make a speaker that's designed for the front of your surround sound system. The second caveat is height of your ceiling. In general, for the front three speakers, we want the ceiling to be 12 feet high or lower. Once we get above 12 feet, the main three speakers tend to decouple from the image on the screen. And that's not the impact that we want. It's important, if things sound right, that it sounds like it's actually coming from the screen. So we want to make sure that the height of the ceiling isn't too high if we're going to go with this in-ceiling option. And the third caveat has to do with in-ceiling subwoofers specifically. In-ceiling subwoofers are available, so we can do the complete thing up in the ceiling, but we've got to consider a few things with in-ceiling subwoofers. One is they are passive, so it's mounting in your ceiling. It doesn't have electric actively there. It's a passive speaker, so it needs a separate subwoofer amplifier. Once you combine the cost of that subwoofer amplifier with the actual speaker, you might find that the cost of the in-ceiling solution is a little bit more than a freestanding subwoofer. That's not saying don't do it. I just want you to be aware the cost is likely going to be a little bit more. And the other caveat is generally the performance on these in-ceiling subs won't be quite as good as a freestanding subwoofer. And again, this isn't a no, you shouldn't do it. This is something you just got to ask yourself. Maybe you don't care for that much low frequency. You just want to make sure that you don't miss anything. Or, maybe it's a secondary room and having a lot of earth-shaking low frequency bass isn't that important to you. So that's the final caveat as far as in-ceiling speakers. So today what we've looked at and what we've answered is, can we use in-ceiling speakers in our surround sound system? And the answer is yes. This is Matt with Premier Electronic Solutions, and we hope to see you soon. Please remember, like and subscribe.